Capcom is home to some of the most recognizable IPs in the industry, while many other franchises are still going in some form or fashion, creating new ones along the way with mixed results at best. By the way, where's Pragmata, Capcom? I still want to know more about that. Also played Kunitsugami, it's a great game that got forgotten way too fucking soon. Just as many aren't active, or have seemingly been overlooked by the mega publisher. One such IP that only lasted a generation would be Lost Planet. The Lost Planet series was a creation between its director for the first and second game, Kenji Oguro, who previously at Capcom was involved with being a planner and designer for the Onimusha series, another IP I wish Capcom would do something about, later the Monster Hunter Story series, and Keiji Inafune, who I'm pretty sure we all know, but still he was a major figure at Capcom at the time, being the character designer that created Mega Man, as well as many characters within its franchise, including the X series. And he was also the reason for Capcom having a strong push for the Western audience during the 7th gen, with most attempts ending up in failure, to say the least. Lasted 5 games between 2006 and 2013. One being a mobile phone game. Wait, there's 2 mobile phone games, so technically that means there's 6 games. One that was released only in Japan, and 3 numbered titles. A film adaptation was also in talks, and was to be written and directed by David Hayter. Yes, the same David Hayter who voiced Solid Snake and the Big Boss from the Metal Gear Solid series, who's had experience writing movies beforehand, like with the 2000s X-Men movie, so I would be down for a Lost Planet flick, but sadly that project has been long dead. Today I want to look at the first Lost Planet, which was released only on the 360 initially, but later on PC in 2007, and the PS3 the following year. I didn't know about this game's existence until I was looking through a bargain bin section at my local GameStop when it used to be back in the mall. It was around $2 or so, and I was like, sure, why not? It's $2 after all. I remember beating it, but I don't remember anything of it. That was back in 2017, sure, but it's kind of a concern to think about. Did I just not think this game was all that interesting? And it's one of those, well, that was a game moments. I don't know, and I wouldn't know until I give the game another shot for this video. And I think Lost Planet 1 is pretty cool. Oh shit, I made a pun. I'll be playing the PC version, but the original 360 release is also a good way to play the game. The 360 version is also backwards compatible on modern Xboxes, but only the Colonize edition. Okay, so there's 2 different versions of Extreme Condition. The original release, which is the one I'm looking at today, and Colonize, which includes more features and modes for the game's single player and multiplayer options. For single player, there's a score attack, time trial, battle mode, first-person mode, which is technically something you can already do in the original game in some way, and unlimited mode. I felt like covering these modes weren't necessary since they're pretty self-explanatory, and the multiplayer side is an aspect I can't cover, as well it's a 17-year-old game, and its player base has long dried up since, and there's no bots to speak of either. It does look fun, but I'm very much late to the party for this. However, if you were to look up Lost Planet on Steam, you would notice that the original release is the only one you can buy. In fact, out of the whole series, 1 and 3 are the only games you can buy on Steam, as Colonize Edition and Lost Planet 2 have been delisted from the storefront. Why is that? Well, it's because of a now-defunct service called Games for Windows Live. Games for Windows Live was a service that allowed players to keep track of their friends' online status, messaging, and achievements and such, providing cross-play support for the 360 and Windows users with games such as Shadowrun. Many games use the service as well, including Capcom's own, but once the service shut down, that effectively made some of the games nearly unplayable. As a result, in 2021, Capcom removed Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, and of course Lost Planet's Colonize and 2 from Steam. They said they were continuing to investigate a way to put these games back up for sale, but as of now, there's been nothing. From what I understand, you can still play some of them using a couple workarounds, if you already own them, or get them through other means. For now though, let's get into and talk Lost Planet Extreme Condition. Also, if you're wondering, yes, this is the Christmas special because there's snow. Merry Christmas, everyone! In the future, humanity sets out to find other inhabitable planets as Earth has become a cesspool of pollution and war. Led by the corporation Nevik, they discover a planet named EDN-3, a snow-barren planet that the company intends to colonize. Those plans fall short, however, as the planet's inhabitants, the Acrid, an insectoid alien species, wage war against humanity. 150 years pass, and humanity is in a losing battle. Leaving those who remain, they continue their assistance to civilians, which, side note, we never really see that kind of thing in this game, and as snow pirates. During a mission led by Gale Holland, the father to our protagonist, Wayne. Wayne is also based on the South Korean actor Lee Bong-hung. The mission goes foobar as the Acrid storm the squad, including this ginormous one they dubbed Green Eye. It tries to kill Wayne, but his father steps in to fight the beast, dying in the process. Wayne does manage to escape, but soon falls unconscious in his VS, leaving him stranded. He later wakes up to a figure named Yuri Solotov. Yuri is interested in the device that is attached to Wayne's arm, known as the Harmonizer, which won't come into play until a bit later. He tells Wayne to keep his Harmonizer a secret from the others, which doesn't really last that long, while also introducing the other snow pirates on his team, Luca and her brother Rick. Wayne, however, seemingly lost most of his memories from the incident, but still joins the group regardless. 2 weeks go by and the group plans an attack on the Acrid Hive, with Wayne volunteering to lead the mission. And so, we set on our first... let's try that again. So we set out on our first mission, and Lost Planet still visually holds up pretty well. I have a soft spot for snow settings, and when the sun sets and the orange hues mixes in with the whites, looks fantastic. Wayne, however, has got some weight to him. Not to the point where it messes with the input and delays certain actions, as it's still pretty snappy for the most part. His movement speed, though, is a bit slow, which for more enclosed spaces it's not too bad, but when you go to more open areas, it becomes a bit of a drag. And during some boss encounters, it makes it hard to avoid some of their attacks, but that's where the VSs come in. VS, or Vital Suits, are mechs that could be lying around the environment, and since Wayne knows how to pilot one, he can use them to his advantage. Compared to Wayne's movements, the VS outpaces in both speed and power. There's a healthy selection of them too. Not in the beginning, but later on, they become very vital. Oh, I get it, just like the name. Wayne is no slouch either, as he has a grappling hook of his own that can pull him up walls and reach certain areas. The range of the hook, however, is a bit limited, and sometimes I feel it's not clear as to if I'm in range or not. The reticle does change color if you're in range, but sometimes it doesn't feel as accurate. The guns, however, do feel great and sound mighty powerful. Good sound design goes a long way, and when it's done right, it's awesome. All that's great, but it's also important to remember to keep an eye on Wayne's thermal energy. It acts as a sort of timer and healing resource for him, healing him whenever he gets hit, which thankfully is pretty quick in this game. Run out of it ends the game over. But the game throws plenty of energy at you for most of it, either being in tanks that can be destroyed, pods that can be reactivated, or the Acrid themselves as they drop it upon death, which they also shatter into glass, and it's one of the most satisfying things to witness, especially after a boss encounter. After some more bug hunts and raiding pirate camps, Yuri finds a signal from a nearby Nevik facility, and Wayne goes out searching for it. Okay, we get a bike VS, so this should be a breeze.
The source of the signature might be the thermal plant. Do you see anything?
Why is the music suddenly playing? Holy shit. Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here, see it. Wayne does make it to the location, but soon runs into a woman named Basil. Basil is after Yuri, as she believes that he was the one who got her husband killed during a mission. Wayne, however, wards off his attacker, but as soon as he returns to the trailer, Yuri is confronted by Nevik soldiers asking him to return to the Frontier Project. Wayne questions Yuri about this so-called project. The Frontier Project is an operation to terraform the planet to become inhabitable to humans, and to wipe out the Acrid species. This doesn't sound like a bad thing at first, but there's always a but to these. Yuri soon goes missing, however, but the trio decides to focus their attention on Green Eye. On his way to Green Eye's location, Wayne finds both his VS and his father's, and after some repairs, Wayne suits up and damn, the PTX 140 Hard Baller? Technically the PTX 40A because it's a different variant simply for it being white. Besides having a badass name, it's one of the best VS's in the game. It's the best controlling, it's equipped with a hover, and it's got a fucking chainsaw. Yeah, this is awesome. No wonder why it's made a fighter in Tetsunoka vs. Capcom. After a grueling fight, Wayne kills Green Eye, but now this is where the plot takes a turn as Wayne has a vision of his father's death. Turns out the mission they were on was a Nevik trap led by a man named Bandero, who was actually the one who killed his father, so now begins another revenge plot, But Wayne is outnumbered and ejects from his father's VS and saves Luca with the two escaping. They find that the trailer's been destroyed and Rick is missing. A year has passed and the two continue their fight against Nevik, with them eventually infiltrating one of their bases and find another trailer they can steal for themselves. They also surprisingly find Rick, who is alive and well, thanks to Basil. Now we learn that Yuri isn't the one that Basil is after, but instead his father, Ivan. So that's great to know, I guess. Wayne also encounters and captures a Nevik agent thanks to Basil again. Rick decrypts a PDA the agent had on him, learned that the head researcher for the project is Yuri, and the location of the thermal energy being used for the said project is in the volcano dome. They ask the agent politely, whose name is Joe by the way, to guide him to the dome. He agrees, and before they can start the mission, Basil talks with Wayne in private about his father and the relationship with Ivan. Ivan was the one who ordered Basil's husband and Gale on the mission that secretly was a Nevik trap, while also dropping the biggest bombshell that Gale has been dead for 30 years. Yet Wayne looks not a day older. That's because the harmonizer can slow down the aging process of its wearer as well. This will feel like a bigger deal, but it's immediately dropped in the same scene. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, there's other things to worry about. But I don't know, you could have done something interesting with this plot point, but, well, they don't. While I'm at it, I have to say the performances of everyone range from fine to fairly solid. Sometimes it does feel like the actors and actresses are just going with the flow, as their characters aren't all that interesting either. I wouldn't say bad, but they come out pretty vanilla. There are moments where it does shine a bit, but not much. I like Bandero for how deranged he is, and his voice actor Tim Russ does a good job selling that.
Goodbye, Gale. Try to have some dignity in death.
And you can't get me to hate Josh Keaton as Wayne.
Bandero. I'll kill you!
Alright, on to the volcano dome. Oh, Jesus! The Acre don't let up, man. Especially this gross looking one. Like, dude, fuck off. These guys are certainly bugs, alright, as they like to gang up on your ass. Humans aren't any better. The ground troops, however, are no sweat. Until they start using their own VSs and bring out the rocket launchers, then they start becoming a pain. Unless you're the human bosses, where they're kind of a pushover, really. But I wasn't kidding, this game likes to throw a lot of enemies at you, and it becomes a battlefield filled with both Acrid and humans, even more so when you get to the volcano dome. It gets to a point where I tend to fly over most of them so I can get a move on, unless, say, it's required. I wouldn't say fighting any of these guys is a chore, but sometimes you just gotta get a move on, you know? After venturing into the dome, while Luca and Rick look for Yuri, Wayne is ambushed by Bandero, with Joe stepping in to stop him from killing Wayne, as that's not what they agreed to. Yep, Joe double-crossed us, but soon they learn of the Frontier's real purpose. Not only will it destroy all Acrid life, but also all living beings on the planet. Meanwhile, Nevik sits from the comfort of their space stations. Rick does sneak in and help the two escape. With Nevik's true goals revealed, Joe offers to help Wayne for reals this time, and destroy the space elevator Nevik plans to use. Wayne and Bandero would face each other once again, with Wayne killing him and reclaiming his father's VS. Basil also shows up afterwards to plant the rest of the explosives and buy him some time. It was also revealed that Ivan was forced by Nevik to carry out the mission that killed her husband, which honestly sounds like a massive goose chase that didn't really add much to the whole story, but hey, she got her answer at least. Not before getting shot at by Nevik troops and blowing herself up in the end. I swear, Basil feels so wasted in this story, like what's her deal? The group does find Yuri, but he's gravely injured. With his dying breath, he gives Wayne an attachment to his harmonizer that will unlock the true potential of his VS. With Yuri's parting gift, Wayne activates it and... Oh hell yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's a shame though this thing feels awkward as hell to control. And oh, we're already at the final boss, with little time to experiment with this new moveset, so this will be great. Wayne confronts the Frontier Project's leader, Commander Dennis Eisenberg, someone I forgot to mention as we only see him once in person, and that was a hologram. It doesn't help either that he's pretty generic as a villain, and you can't expect me to be intimidated by a person named Dennis. This final boss is just as awkward as the VS itself, as I'm not sure how it even works. Best strategy I could find was getting up close to him and keep using the charge attack. It's not perfect, but it works. Joe successfully sets off the rest of the explosives. Meanwhile, Wayne and Eisenberg get into one last gunfight. Eisenberg shoots off Wayne's attachment, and with little he has left, Wayne kills Eisenberg, ending the project for good. A year has passed again, with Luca and Rick continuing Yuri's work. They are successful in completing his project, and the future seems bright for the...
It's amazing.
Oh, Wayne's alive. But he lost all his memories again, it seems. Kinda makes that last scene not hit as hard knowing that he's still alive, but hey, it's nice he's alive, I guess. Luca introduces herself once again, with the camera panning to the horizon, and that was Lost Planet Extreme Condition. I don't think the plot is bad per se, it just becomes a bit messy towards the end, with fairly flat characters with fairly weak deliveries. I didn't hate it, but I think I understand why I didn't remember anything of it originally, as it's not that remarkable. But the gameplay though, that's where Lost Planet shines the best. And it does make me sad I didn't get to play the multiplayer while it's hot. So is Lost Planet still worth playing? Yeah, definitely. And it goes for dirt cheap on sale. Maybe after this, I'll give the rest of the series a chance. But that's for another time. For now though, I've been SonicMan. And if I didn't procrastinate on this video again, this would be the last one of the year. And it's been fun. Granted, most of my progress in terms of video production got halted because of a lightning strike, but I've been having fun creating these videos. For the few who have watched them anyways. I know I don't get many views, but I just have fun making these sort of things. And I hope to continue to do so in the future. I have plenty of ideas and plenty of other footage I've recorded for said videos, so hopefully we'll see more in the future. So if you stick around to the end, I thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, or whatever holiday you celebrate. And most of all, have a Happy New Year, and take care.